we can turn to Revelation chapter 17, verse 8. John says, "The beast that thou sawest was." Remember, John saw the church slaughtering and killing all those people, and he saw a scarlet-covered beast that was. Now, that word "was" is a past tense word, and it means at some point in time that it came to an end. We've already described that beasts are political powers, and that this political power, the scarlet-covered beast, is represented by the political power of the papacy. But it says it was. That means past tense to when John is seeing the vision. In other words, John's seeing the vision, and the angel says, what you just saw back here was. When in history do we see the end of the political power of the Roman Catholic political system, the papacy? When did that occur in history? Napoleon Bonaparte hates the church. He's an atheist. He sets out to conquer Europe. And in the year 1798, on February 10, he sends a letter to his General Berthier. And he says, "Capture Pius VI, remove him from Rome. Politically, this church is dead." And he shocked and stunned the world. So 1798 goes down as a key date in history when the political power of the Roman Catholic Church system, the papacy, came to a dead end. John says, "and is not." In other words, the second phase of the church is not. It has lost its control over the kings of the earth. No longer does it control them as it did previous to 1798. You can't tell a king to stand out in the snow any longer. "And they that dwell upon the earth shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, is not, and yet is." What John is seeing is the Dark Ages as was, ending in 1798 when Napoleon put a stop to it by decree. He's seeing the is not after 1798 when the papacy no longer controls the political power of the church, of the kings of the earth. In other words, it does not have the power to tell a king to go jump into the snow. It can't tell him what to do. It's restraint. And yet is. The yet is when he goes into perdition and is destroyed. During the time of the yet is, we see the second coming of Christ coming and destroying the son of perdition. So what we need to do is we need to go to the Vatican and look at the Vatican and its structure. The Vatican is a monarchy. Like England, we have King Henry VIII. Well, the Vatican is a monarchy. We have 79 names in church history. Pius, Leo, Gregory, these kind of names. They put number counts beside the names to designate how many individual leaders use that specific name. Now, it says in verse 9, "Here is the mind which hath wisdom, as 7 heads or 7 mountains on which the woman sits." So if we look at the Vatican website, or their official list, we scroll down to 1798, because remember, the 7 heads come during the is not. Who's the head of the United States? You can answer that. This film may be seen later. Dave may be another president, but you know who the head is. Now we're talking about the head of the political power of the church, the Roman Catholic Church system. Who are the heads? After 1798, during the is not. We have, if you will look up on the screen here, are listed 7 heads of the political power of the church. We have Pius, we have Leo, Gregory, Benedict, and John. We have Paul, and we have John Paul. Those are the 7 heads of the political power of the Roman Catholic Church since 1798. During the time period in which the church is restrained, they no longer have control over the kings of the earth. It's the restraining phase. Let's take a look at something very interesting. Revelation 13. Verse 18. And let's look closely at the words wisdom. "Here is wisdom, let him who hath understanding count the number of the beast." That's Greek word for counting objects. as in 1 plus 2. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, or 666. So it's a man. Go back to Revelation 17, verse 9. Let's look closely at the word wisdom again. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. Okay, let's look at history. In Babylon, Babylon had 36 gods. And did you know that they placed their gods in one mountain? In a mountain. Do you know how they counted their gods? They counted them like this. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, all the way to 36. And they got a total count of 666. If you'll look at the screen, you will see 7 papal names across the top of the screen. Did you notice that the first name that was used after 1798 was Pius? There's a total of 12 Piuses there. It was lines of kings. Pope gods. If you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 all the way to 12, you come up with a total count of 78. The second name that was used after 1798 during the Is Not is Leo. Notice that there's 13 Leo Pope gods. Yeah, that totals 91. If you proceed through each one of these counts, you will notice that if you total them all up, all the Pope gods, all 7 names, you'll notice the count comes out to 665 as of the 7th monarchy named since 1798, John Paul II. 665.
Revelation 17:11. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th, and is of the 7, and goeth into perdition. And is of the 7 is a Greek meaning a primary preposition denoting origin, the point whence motion or action proceeds. The Pope after John Paul II will begin his reign with one of the 7 papal names we know now as Benedict. When the beast returns defined as the Church and the state combined in a legally authorized war on God's people, when the Church combines with the state, Benedict will change to an 8th new papal name to reflect his new power status in the world. New papal names make a count of 1 plus 665 equals 666.
Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand how to get a count of 1. To get a count of 1, you have to have a brand new name. All brand new names make a count of 1. So what am I saying here? We're currently on the 7th name, John Paul II, and the count stands at 665. We have 1 more to go. It'll be a brand new name. It'll be a count of 1. It will complete the count of 666. He will be the 8th. He will be the yet is. He will be the son of perdition that's destroyed at the second coming of Christ. Now what am I saying? This is what I'm saying. I am saying this, that the next pope that's elected after John Paul II will be 666 man. He will be the 8th. He'll be the son of perdition. He'll be destroyed by the second coming of Christ. That's what I'm saying. This prophecy is showing. You'll say, wow. Did you know that all the cardinals that are to replace John Paul II are now in their 70s? Now what does that tell you and I? It says he goes into perdition. He's destroyed. He never lives out his full lifespan. Does that not tell you how close we are to the second coming of Christ?